Hi y'all, welcome to my garden. My name is Seema. This is a channel Garden a Little. Thanks for tuning in. Today we'll be doing a general tour because it has been raining for about 5 days straight and the garden has absolutely exploded. If you can't tell by my moist appearance, it is quite humid out here and the temperature has been in the 80s, sometimes hovering 90s. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for sticking around for this long. Please stick around till the end of this video. It does show how long you stay on the video and it does show support, so I really appreciate. First, I am interrupted by my ladies. I have 7 ladies. Right now they're locked up in that little run because when they were not locked up, this was just a playground for them and everything would be ripped down. So they are in there. Do not fret. They have plenty of things to eat. I keep them dry at night. They have a house that it's locked. They are very safe. They get treats daily and I collect their eggs. But like I was saying, I have been gardening for about 4 to 5 years. I started my first little space of garden here with 4x4 bed with 4 tomatoes taken from tomatoes that were rotten on my counter, and they grew taller than me. Go back to my videos if you don't believe me, but right now, this is what I've grown into. I am not a master, I am just a beginner gardener, and I learn as I go, so come along. Starting here with my sunflowers, look at them go, guys. I thought they were for sure gonna open up, but look at that. They are opening up very soon, and it's a multi-head, so I got a couple of heads there. And then every one of these is also going to be a head. I cannot wait for this beauty to bloom. And looks like we got 3 of the same type of sunflowers. And then I have a couple of shoots coming off a little bit lower. So it looks like it's going to be a great, fantastic sunflower corner. Switching sides here, look at these zucchinis, guys. The zucchinis are half tall as sunflowers, and sunflowers, I kid you not, they're about 8 feet tall there. So pretty high zucchini if you ask me. And that zucchini is bearing fruit. Look at that. Soon enough, I'll have myself a zucchini. And you know what? It's a little bit late for the season. I thought I would already be having zucchinis, but better late than never. Switching to the other side, I also have a baby zucchini growing right there. I am so excited for this growth. Amazing. And guess how many zucchini plants are there? Just 2. Just 2. This is the width of this bed is 4 feet, and I have 2 zucchini plants, and they completely took over the space. Now this plant here is a red or green currant. It has not flowered yet. It did not fruit, so I do not know the color of the currant, but it's a currant berry. I am very excited for it to grow. It definitely just really adapted really well to the soil. My parents brought it to me from Pennsylvania, and it looks like it's happy here. Another plant that my parents brought me are raspberries, and they do have thorns, so you know, be careful, but it really did take as well. A couple of raspberry plants here and there. Eventually, what I want to do with these plants, now I have here my beds. Behind me is just wild wilderness basically and clay. That is why I have a raised bed garden, because outside soil is no good. But eventually what I want to do with these bushes, the raspberry bushes and currant bushes, is have a bush patch over here. And in addition, I also want to add blueberries, blackberries, and gooseberries. Moving on to this side of the bed, look at this basil. It is fantastic looking, amazing. Now, interesting thing, I have these 2 pepper plants that just popped up. I did not sow them at all, but this bed is full of compost. So I wonder if these pepper sprouts are from compost. Now, my pepper bed this year over there is a complete joke, so I dare not pluck these peppers out. Moving on here, I have 1 healthy quinoa plant. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I have never grown quinoa, but if I can grow 1 plant, I think I will die happy. It looks like we got some buds forming. If this quinoa plant survives, I can save the seeds from it and sow it again next year. And it will be more adapted to this environment already with first generation growth. So I am super stoked about that. I had another quinoa plant, but look at this. It did not fare well. I'm not sure what happened. It looks like the stem broke, and then you see all of these things. These things are roots. So I think it's trying to find the ground. One branch of it is looking gorgeous, but the rest really struggling. Another thing in this bed that I'm growing are these melons. Now, it looks like I have a couple of them that might be survivable. We'll see how they do. Ideally, what I want is them to just branch out right in this area and grow me some melons. Strawberry bed have really slowed down. I have not seen any strawberries for a few weeks now. Okay, now that I start talking, literally, like every time I start talking, there's no strawberries. There are strawberries. Look at the gorgeous ones. But ideally, what I wanted to see is the strawberries to be flowering like this. Now, there's rare flowers here and there, but for the most part, they're just sleeping for now. My tomato bed is looking more and more like an organized tomato bed. I have been pruning them and watching them grow. They are doing amazing. Now, obviously, I need to go through and prune again. This is way too bushy for me. There's nothing wrong with having bushy tomatoes. Absolutely nothing. You're not a bad gardener if you let your tomatoes be. Now, the reason why I prune my tomatoes is because I sow them so close together. I just want to fit so many different varieties that if they overcrowd each other, they're going to compete for nutrients, for sunlight, for water, all of it. And they're mostly going to suffer rather than flourish. So what I do is prune them. Pruning allows me to grow so many different varieties in one bed. And look at this. This is the tomato that I really wanted to grow. The tiger blush ones, and it's growing. Now I need to stake this up and tie it up, but I'm pretty sure I got a few good plants of tiger blushes because really that tomato has been much requested from my family. Like I said before, my pepper bed is a joke this year, but look at these peppers. They really woke up. They are really doing nice. Look at that. They really were stagnant for about first 6 to 8 weeks in the ground, if you remember, but they are coming up nicely. And it looks like we do have another pepper here. Now, ideally, I would have it written down here. I think it says sweet banana. Sadly, I don't see any of my Buena Mulata peppers surviving. However, it looks like this is another pepper that survived, and this. Now, they could flourish and grow pretty big, so I did not lose my hope yet as far as growing Buena Mulatas this year. My sweet bananas are absolutely loving all this rain. I'm going to take a pause here and announce that I do have a little ebook that I'm writing about gardening, about how to start, where to start, selecting your space, selecting what you want to grow, and so on and so forth. So the first book is out. There's going to be a total of about 12 books. They are all sectioned out as to where you begin, where you continue, all of that kind of stuff. So check it out on the links down below. Next is my corn bed. Guys, this corn is as tall as me, and I am 5'7". This is gorgeous, gorgeous growth. I am so excited for this corn. Now, in this bed, if you remember, I have a radish plant, and look at the radish plant being devoured by these nasty nuggets. You know what kind of fate they have awaiting? The ladies. And there they go. The reason I am protecting this radish is because it is from Germany. The seeds are from Germany. And look at the size of this radish. What I want is this radish to flower and develop seeds. Now it is in quite a bit of shade, so I wonder if it will happen, but I am hopeful, so I'm going to try to protect its foliage so it has enough photosynthesis to do what it needs to do. Another thing in this bed that is growing is this melon. Now, I'm not sure what the melon is. I did grow cantaloupe in this bed before and squash. It was not spaghetti squash like I mentioned before. That was my bad. But some sort of squash. So I'm just letting it be. Whatever happens, happens. My herb corner is doing great. My parsley is finally growing great. And then my oregano is amazing as always. I need to trim this back. Spinach is finally waking up, doing great. Basil. Oh, this is what happens with lots of rain. These guys, again, you know the fate of them. Here we go. Oh, flop. My thyme is doing great. It is growing right back. If you remember, I trimmed it pretty gnarly. This ladybug showed up along with that ladybug in there after this cilantro has been overtaken by aphids. I thought to myself, for sure, I'm gonna need to pull the cilantro up. It's a goner, it's not gonna do anything. And all of a sudden, ladybugs showed up. That just shows you, nature can take care of itself. There is a perfect design behind it. It's all gonna work out. You just gotta plant. You just gotta plant. Lettuce is doing fantastic, very good. And look at these tomatoes, guys. They are definitely growing, and all of these are volunteers. Compare the volunteers versus planted tomatoes. My planted tomatoes are definitely not as big as my volunteers. I need to harvest these green onions bad. I really need to harvest them. I'm probably gonna dehydrate them and have green onion powder. This side of the bed, I think these are Brussels sprouts, so it's still growing and still doing amazing. My carrots here, look at this forest, guys. My carrots are doing great. And they are almost ready to pull. I'm just waiting for a dry weather spell to execute that, you know, to really pull them up, see what they're made of. This is my started lettuce. It is now starting to bolt. You can see that main stalk starting to grow. And here comes the flowers. So I really need to either harvest it or just call it a day and give it to my chickens. This is one of my purple cauliflower plants. The plant is looking fine, except again, I got these nasty little boogers trying to devour my plant, and I'm not loving that. And then I have a couple of more Brussels sprout plants here. I don't see them going anywhere, really doing anything, so I'm just gonna let them be. Here is the big growth. My sweet potato slips are finally growing, finally establishing, so I'm really hopeful that this whole area, especially after I harvest these carrots, this whole area will be covered by sweet potatoes, and in the fall time, hopefully I'm harvesting some sweet potatoes out of this bed. If you're still here, thanks so much for hanging in there. I just got a couple more beds left to go through, but I hope that you're getting encouraged by me just showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything that I'm growing, because honestly, all it takes is just that courage to plant the seed, to plant the plants. Here on this side of the trellis, I got these, they're supposed to be bush beans, but look at this runner that is being sent out. It's pretty lengthy, so I'm just letting it be, really, because there's no competition right now going on. But the rest of these bush beans are, you know, there they are. They're growing, so we'll see how the rest of them do, but most of them just kind of like fall apart like this. I'm not sure why. They're so weak and so flimsy. Like, look at this. They're so sickly. So I don't know, maybe it's just me. These zinnias though, guys, look at that striation. That's beautiful. So we got a couple of blooms that are coming up. Very, very nice. I am really excited about this one because look at the leaves. The flowers must be even more beautiful. My dill absolutely took over the middle of this bed. I love it. And then my lupine is actually growing. Now, I don't know how lupine flowers look like, but I'm excited. Now, on this side of the trellis, I planted those melons that I took from the other bed over there. And then I have some other melons. Now, I don't know if they'll do anything, honestly. There's another melon, and then spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is finally reaching the trellis. Now on this side of the trellis, I got broad beans. They're supposed to be like lima beans. Now they're putting off a ton of growth, but I don't see actual beans forming. So I'm just, you know, letting them be. So we'll see how they do. Now these are supposed to be my collards, and I think they're kohlrabis based on the way that they look. Now, I don't think they're gonna do much because, first of all, they're a little bit crowded, but second of all, look at this foliage. It's just demolished, completely demolished. Again, same exact problem. I mean, look at that. Look at these guys, they are fat. All right, let's see if I have a better throw here. There we go. Also, besides these colors, I got this golden radish, and I think I will have some flowers from it because it is getting tougher and woodier, which is what I want. So hopefully it will shoot a stalk up, bolt, give me some flowers, give me some seeds for next year. My dill over here is doing also amazing. Love the smell of it. And on this side, my milkweed is finally doing great. Look at them go. It's finally growing and thriving, and so are my cucumbers. Like, it's about time, come on. Honestly, in this area, people are already harvesting cucumbers while my plants are literally probably a foot tall, and I sowed them from seeds a long time ago. So, you know, don't compare yourself. Progress, not perfection. Okay, last but definitely, most definitely not least, because we have our garlic and corn bed. My garlic is definitely feeling like it's ready to pull. I'm actually going to pull one plant here. Ideally, you want to wait for dry weather, but this plant looks like it is dying and rotting, and I rather pull up a plant rather than leave it to die. So let me grab a shovel so I can dig it out. All right, I dug it out. Look at this garlic head. Oh my goodness, and it has baby garlic heads all around. Wow, look at that. That's gorgeous. Now this is a firm garlic head, which is what you want. It is starting to separate, so definitely time to pull it up. Now, ideally you want to wait for it to be dry, because if I pull this up and it's not dry, it is very likely to rot. And I don't want this to rot. So what I'll do is I'm gonna set this out in a cool and dry place. So ideally what I want is these roots to be nice and like paper-like. And then the garlic will be cured and will be ready for storage. So I have a couple of bulbs that are looking that they are about to go rotten. So I rather pull them up early and maybe even use them rather than let them be in the ground, wait for the dry spell to happen and then pull them up, because I'm not ready to lose this gorgeousness. Now, I wonder what these small little things are. I wonder if I can plant them. If you know, please let me know. This garlic was grown from a grocery store garlic that was rotting in my fridge. Put it in the ground, here it is. So there's your encouragement. Go garden a little, and I'll see you next time. Bye.